It's 9:35 on this Wednesday morning. You know, Wednesdays, we typically at this point have our Ask the Lawyer segment. We check in with our friend and attorney for the injured, Bruce L. Scheiner, and ask him about a legal question. But it's been very difficult to do those kinds of presentations as of late. That doesn't mean that I don't want to check in with Bruce from time to time, because I find him to be a very fascinating guy, and he's been around the area for a long time, too. So I thought we'd take a moment to say hello to our friend Bruce L. Scheiner. Good morning, Bruce.
Hey, good morning, Todd. How you doing in this pandemic era?
You know, hanging in there. It feels a little strange not going into the studios every morning, but we're all making our little sacrifices, and I'm healthy, so that is a big thing these days.
Well, that's great. I'm glad to hear you're safe and healthy. That's the most important thing. And it's amazing because, you know, I've been used to going into the office early every morning for 50 years, and now I'm sitting here at my desk at home, and it's quite a change. But, you know, with the new technology, we're able to keep up and running as efficiently as ever.
That's the part that impresses me. I mean, in my little world, I'm using this technology to virtually run the radio station from my pool deck. But I wouldn't have thought that the law game, the legal business, would be able to be conducted that way. But it is.
Yeah, we're maintaining our contact with our clients. We're emailing, and we're doing Zoom conference calls.
Right.
And, you know, it's amazing. To conduct a mediation by a Zoom conference call, because they can, you know, isolate. Everybody could be together.
Right.
Or they could, you know, put one party in the Zoom and leave out the other party. So it's amazing what's going on.
Yeah. But, you know, this is what we're doing today, and thank goodness that technology exists today. Wasn't always the case. You've been around the Fort Myers area since, what was it, 1971?
1971 we pulled in.
Wow. I bet you've seen a lot of things change.
You know, Todd, it's amazing. I was just recounting that, and when we came to Fort Myers in 1971, US 41 was only 2 lanes, 1 lane north and 1 lane south.
Right. Yes.
The only airport we had was Page Field. Southwest Regional hadn't been developed yet, and then FGCU hadn't been founded yet. So it's amazing what we've seen happen over the last 50 years.
Having grown up in Sarasota, I can remember when I-75 was being constructed, and you could only go a certain point south before you'd have to get off because it wasn't finished yet.
I remember that well.
And you have to come on 41.
I was just thinking back to those early years before we limited our practice to personal injury. We represented Ed McMahon, who was the spokesperson for Rotunda West. And I remember when they built the first houses in Rotunda West, and they just got the community started.
Right, and then you represented him. I loved that guy. Loved his laugh. That was just the incredible laugh that he added to Johnny Carson's monologues. And wow, that's interesting.
So, and you know, the growth has never stopped. We have periods when there's been less, and you know, we went through the great recession in 2008 and all the mortgage foreclosures. But life goes on, and you know, things are doing well.
Yeah. I can't help but think about all of the things that we have encountered in this area in Southwest Florida over the years, too. Like you said, the recession and hurricanes. Hurricane Charlie, most notably locally because of the devastation that it brought to Charlotte County and certainly parts of Lee County as well. And we've been resilient, I gotta say.
Yep, everything is fairly amazing the way it's grown, and it's you know, it's just a wonderful area to live in.
Right. So in all the time you've been here, you have fallen more and more in love with the area, is what I'm hearing.
I just love the area. And, the first thing that attracted me to Fort Myers was the beautiful Caloosahatchee River.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And then the first day we were here, we went out to Sanibel and Captiva.
Oh,
and, I'm so pleased that they were smart enough to limit the density. It's still a beautiful island. It's not like some of the places like Marco Island, although it's still a beautiful area. You just go down the ocean and there's condominium to condominium. It's wall to wall.
Back to back to back. Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
Sanibel and Captiva is just a wonderful jewel that we have.
If I remember correctly from a previous conversation, a major impetus for you to come to this area was your then young bride was not enjoying where she was living. She didn't feel safe and said, we got to get out of here. And that's how you ended up in Fort Myers.
That's true. And, that was a wonderful decision. Our newspaper lady, we lived in Coconut Grove, Miami, Florida. Our newspaper lady was robbed twice. And we came over here, and, this is the safest place that I've been living in. I was fortunate. I always had a good relationship with the local sheriff. Mm-hmm. And, not too many people will remember this name, but Frank Wanaka was the sheriff here for 16 years.
Right.
He is a very close friend, and he took my son PJ, who's now my law partner, fishing on every school vacation. So if there was a teacher's day off or something like that, we used to go with Frank and go fishing, and he taught him everything he knows about fishing, and now he's an excellent fisherman as well.
Right. That's, again, I know you're not a name dropper, but it's amazing the people that you have known over your career and over your time in this area. We could probably reminisce all day about the good old days and the changes, some of them good, some of them not so good, but overall, I just want to reemphasize that we have always come out of everything that's been thrown at us a stronger community.
We have, and that's because we have a very solid base and a wonderful citizenry.
Right.
And, most people looking to do the right thing.
I'm going to give out your Port Charlotte office number here in a second, but I just wanted to clarify for anybody that is having any kind of legal issues, because, these things happen regardless of what, some virus is doing. You can always reach out to Bruce L. Scheiner and Associates and get some advice, get a little bit of help, because you're still functioning 100%, even though, remotely.
Yes, we are. And, we were working, I was at least working until about 7:30 last night. Things are going on, and you just got to take care of it when they happen. You just can't say, well, it's 9 o'clock, I'm going to
punch
turn
out
on the phone, and 5 o'clock, I'm going to turn off the phone.
Right.
It's a 24/7 time when you have to help the people that need help.
Right, exactly. So nobody should be afraid to reach out, because they can certainly offer you some wisdom, if nothing else, at Bruce L. Scheiner and Associates. Bruce, thanks for talking with us this morning. Hopefully we'll get back in the studio soon. We can get back to our Ask the Lawyer segments, but I don't mind just having conversation with you. You're an interesting guy.
Well, I'll tell you two things that I've been looking forward to in the last 5 or 10 years.
Uh-huh.
And because of the virus, they got canceled. Number one was this year was my 50th law school reunion, and it was supposed to be last Friday, May 8th. And, of course, that was canceled.
Sure.
So I was looking to see, number one, who's still alive.
Right.
And number two, what they look like after 50 years.
Right, exactly.
And second of all, the Florida Bar has a luncheon in their annual convention for practitioners who practice 50 years. Mm-hmm. And, of course, that's not going to happen this year either. So I still know that I've been here for 50 years, so I feel good about it.
Well, as do we, because we're awful proud of your affiliation with our radio station because of that. So we let that get forgotten.
Well, Todd, it's always great to speak with you.
Yes, sir.
I hope we get back to our question and answer sessions, because it keeps my mind sharp to be able to answer the difficult questions that your listeners come up with.
Absolutely. And fingers crossed, that could be as soon as next Wednesday. We shall see. Thank you again.
Okay, Todd.
Bruce, thanks for checking in with us.
Thank you. Be safe. Be healthy.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Ladies and gentlemen, Bruce L. Scheiner of Bruce L. Scheiner and Associates. If you need any help, the Port Charlotte office phone number, as I promised a moment ago, 941-743-7777. That's 743-7777. Tell them that Todd Matthews sent you from Kicks Country 92.9.